I don't want to be seen as a company you're just looking at builder. What we have to offer is really valuable.
And at that time you felt like that uniqueness wasn't being communicated?
Not at all, because our story's never been told. It's always been this design, this render, this block, this house and land package, not us as a company.
This is Natasha Stoker, Managing Director at Regal Homes, building beautiful homes across the Greater Canberra region.
So my dad started the company in 1973, and when I took over the company about a year ago, it gave me the opportunity to really look at our branding, and we wanted everything to be a consistent message of who we are and what's important to us, which is what's important to you. I know it's an investment, best investment in your business you'll ever make. It still takes me back a bit when people talk to me like they know me.
Tash, really excited to have you jumping on. So thank you very much for coming up from Canberra.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And we got the weather turned on perfectly for you today.
Thank you. No rain.
To jump straight into it, I think give some context. We'll put your story in a link below so people can watch that about Regal Homes. But maybe some background for the listeners. Some people are going to be driving, listening to this. How did you get into building, and where did Regal Homes come from?
So my dad started the company in 1973. So I kind of grew up in it, and it was always kitchen table chat. That's what we talked about, because the whole family worked in, like my mum and him worked in the business together, and then my older brother as well joined the crew before I had finished school.
Did you find that table conversation was always enjoyable? Like often why I ask the question is, the constant chat of, work-life balance, and sometimes people might think, you take work home. Here, it's very family orientated, family business. So we hang out on the weekends, a lot of people here, and we talk work, but we enjoy it. Yeah. So it doesn't feel like it's one and the other. Yeah. How was that growing up, having those table discussions?
It always sort of ebbed and flowed through work and other things and back to the business. And it's really my training ground for Regal Homes, and everything my dad had installed in the business himself as core values. We didn't identify it back then as core values, but how our clients should be treated, and that it's all about them, and that all came from the dinner table really when I was 10. Cool. So that kind of those conversations, it never felt, I was only a kid, so it didn't feel out of balance. I think when you love what you do, you talk about it.
And you always knew that you were going to join the family business?
No. I joined when I left school. I was studying education, so I got my education degree. Awesome. And in the meantime, it didn't feel full-time, even though I was doing full-time study. It wasn't really. So I would work in the business and just enjoyed it so much that I ended up staying there and not teaching at all. But it was a worthwhile road for me. And it gave me a bit of clarity. So I went straight from uni to working full-time in the business.
And were you doing all sorts of things in the business, or what was your role back then?
Back then I was all the paperwork and construction administration. I dealt a lot with our clients, did colour selections. Those kind of fun things were a big part of what I did, which was great. And then, the paperwork and contracts and, paperworky stuff. So, And
then you've spent time in all areas in the business.
Pretty much. I left for a number of years when I had children, because I wanted to stay home and raise them myself, which I was lucky enough to be able to do. And then there was no real place for me when I had sort of gotten my last one after school, and I didn't want to push anyone out, obviously. That's how I roll. So I went and did other things, which I really enjoyed. And then Dad was kind of getting retirement thoughts and asked if I could come and help him, and I was like, of course. That was 7 years ago.
7 years ago. Wow.
Gone really fast. And so I came back and now I'm running the company.
Excellent.
getting to invigorate it again, which
Yeah.
is exciting.
And yeah, I mean, just following you on that journey over the last, say, 18 months. Yeah, because we would have met more than 18 months ago.
Yeah.
That's been awesome to see the transformation it's gone through.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah. Why do you think you're so passionate about what you do? And why, let's say, the niche that you guys specialize in?
I have 4 children and 6 between my partner and I, and 2 grandchildren, and creating a home for our clients as a mother of that many children is really rewarding. So it's great to be able to help people up front and get them to think a bit further ahead than what they need in this current stage of life, because my youngest is now just started year 12. So so we're moving on to the next stage with grandchildren and thoughts of, parents as they age. How are we going to manage that?
Yep.
Is that going to be something we can manage within our home?
Right.
Multi-generational living has become a big thing in Australia, which is great. So helping people, I guess, at the start of that journey or in various stages of life, and how they can design their home and tailor it for the next stage that they don't really know what they need. It's really rewarding and so nice to see, to work with our clients through all of that and what, where they think they're going to be.
We've been fortunate enough to tell some of those stories and looking forward to learning more about those stories. But yeah, definitely that niche of just helping families. And definitely that planning ahead is important. I know that at the moment we've got 2 young little girls, 1 and 3, and it is hard sometimes to think further than just the needs right now. So to have someone who can help, let alone having ever designed a house. So being able to guide people through that is really, really powerful.
And the way you think and feel at one stage, you think, I'm never going to feel any different. But chances are.
On that topic, I thought I might leave it for later. You raised something we caught up a little while back about, and this is what I was really excited to talk to you about today, and we'll jump around a few places, but the level to which you go to when it comes to caring has always been something that has struck me. And the one, I wrote it down.
Wendy,
yes. And I put it in quotation that says, is this going to be bright enough for Wendy? Tell us that story.
So Wendy's actually about to start building, which is exciting.
Wow.
So Wendy is legally blind, and she manages remarkably well, which has impressed everybody who she's dealt with in our office, and no doubt will on site as well. And they were designing a custom design home with one of our designers, and when we were reviewing her plan, my estimator Libert and I go through everything really thoroughly. So with Wendy's need for light in mind, we were looking at each room and each space, and the question just kept coming up, is there enough light? Is this going to be enough light for Wendy? Because the more light that she has, the easier her life is. So when considering any design concept or colours or anything at all, functionality, was like, is this going to be suitable for Wendy? And every family has a different need and requirement that's topmost, of importance to them, and being able to identify that with them and work through that with them, and how that's going to impact life in their new home is just feels rewarding. It's really rewarding.
Well, there again, I got goosebumps, but I know when you first told me the story, I was just thinking, man, for everyone in your team to care that much, and for everyone to have that question as their top priority when they were looking at her project, any aspect of it, so I'm really excited to hear more as that project progresses. But yeah, definitely that because we're storytellers, and so I know that's one thing that's come up talking with you is it's as though you see, I'm not sure if you worded it like this to me but everyone has their story, And so that home should reflect that story.
Yes.
And so when they walk into that home, it should feel like it's theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether that's one of our standard designs, we have a range of standard designs, which everyone is customised, whether it be floor plan inclusions,
Yeah.
facade finishes, whatever it is, it's customised to suit whoever's purchasing us their individual needs.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
epic.
a good process to go through with them because it helps them clarify what they're after as well.
Yeah, that's incredible. Jumping back to talking about marketing again, one thing that I've always been impressed with you as well is your mindset around marketing. Talk us through how you see marketing and the effect and how it works with the business from that big picture, aggregate sort of level.
So we are a fabulous company with a good, strong history, and since I've taken over, the same core values exist. We have changed with the times, and I'm obviously different to my dad and his thought processes. So there's a wider direction we'd like to go in, and we have an amazing team, and everyone you deal with on my team are wonderful to deal with and easy to deal with. And I feel getting that through to share to the wider public is really what how we tackle things. So when I took over the company about a year ago, my brothers were also involved in the company, but due to other circumstances had left. It gave me the opportunity to really look at our branding, everything that the public see of us, and internally as well, redefining who we are and what we represent. And we wanted everything to be consistent, a consistent message of who we are and what's important to us, which is what's important to you. So that was an overarching theme we ran with. Is how we're going to do all this? Is a lot to do.
Yeah.
And we did it, and we're still
doing
it.
And you did a phenomenal job of it.
But it's when we the key, I think, to marketing is finding the right people who also understand you and your vision and what you want. Working with you guys has just been amazing. We've loved every minute of it. If you're starting the journey of looking at your marketing, it's important to look at your whole package.
Because you went through a rebrand.
Yes.
Last year. So you kept the name, but
yes,
the look and feel,
everything else,
big shift.
Yeah.
What's it been like now that it's implemented?
There was no stress on our half. They just kind of managed all that process for us, as you did, which is fabulous. You need to make sure you have the right people to do that, because when you're too close, you can't see. And I think that's the benefit in finding the people who can see an outside perspective and look at what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how is it different? Because every build is different and has different values or different, what they want to achieve and provide for people. So making sure your brand matches that. I think we've got everything lined up. We've still got a little way to go. We met with some great guys this morning who are looking at doing different things for us in a different space, again, to make things more consistent. And Libya, my estimator, calls it Natasha-fying something. So that's a new term we have in the office. Has it been Natasha-fied? Just because he is on board with, as my team, of getting everything in line. And as a mother, who grew up with lots of washing, I hate small laundries. They do my head in, and I hate seeing them on a plan because
with no
typically
bench space.
Mother, but don't want to.
I'm
sure there's lots of dads out there who also take on the laundry. They would also appreciate a larger laundry. So just little things like that, which would often get overlooked because it's only the laundry. That's a big thing. It's a big thing to a mum or dad who does the washing. So things like that, just it's not just about the colours and the fonts, and it's actually backing all of that story up with what you have on paper to offer people as far as design goes, and making sure that all filters through. So it is a big process to undertake, but I think once you identify who you want to look after and as your target of clientele, we're really lucky. We have so many lovely clients, and I think that's because they've understood where we're coming from and how we want to help them. So
that's definitely a vibe that I've always gotten from you and the company is that relatability. And I think that was a big thing that we sort of wanted to make sure it was communicated in all the messaging. And the branding has done a great job of that in terms of just relatable. It just feels like this is where, well, that feeling is like for a prospect, this is where I should be. That's incredible. Okay, and if we go back in the journey, where and how did you come across us?
So I met Kurt, the builder's coach, in Canberra at a HIA event, and he invited me up to an event you had in Sydney.
I remember the one.
And that's where I first came in contact with you guys. And I think it was Cornet. He did a talk on storytelling, and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what we need. We need people to see, I don't want to be seen as a company you're just looking at builder. What we have to offer is really valuable, and that he gave me the confidence that he could convey that story that we have to weave into somebody else's story.
And at that time you felt like that uniqueness wasn't being communicated?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. It looked like a rubber stamp on the builder.
And then, so you came on board, went through story development, that whole sort of process. You mentioned there earlier. How did you find that? Did you, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but how was the story development part of things? You know, before we touch a camera, how was that for you?
Super valid. I had a whole lot of other things business-wise going on at the time, which were very distracting. So in a way, I wish I could do that again. Having said that, I don't feel I need to, because of the events of the last 18 months have really clarified what that process was at the beginning. And it was a great team event, and everybody got to put their view of what Regal Homes is to them, and our clients' very valid concerns and how we address them. And so that was a really important process and great for the whole team to be a part of.
So we went through that. Were you nervous to be in front of the camera at all? Was it quite easy?
Kind of getting used to it now because you guys keep shoving a camera in my face. Was very nerve-wracking at first, but I guess I'm well known for being a bit of a chatter. So I tried to reframe it as just having a chat to whoever I was talking to from your amazing team. And that was easier then to cope with. Okay.
That's good for the listeners that maybe haven't worked with us before.
It's not as scary as you think it will be. If you look at it, all you can think about is the camera, then you just need to pay attention to something else.
And when we sat you down to watch the story for the first time, the main story, the Regal Home story, were you nervous?
Yes. I was very nervous, and we were all sitting together sort of in our boardroom, and
that's right.
Everyone was like, oh my God. That's amazing. I sent it to my dad, who was away at the time, who did retire, and he was so impressed.
Amazing.
He's not easy to impress. And he was blown away, and a little teary, I would say. I'm not a teary person, but even I got a hay fever. It was really, really good. Yeah.
And then, so you saw the story, you loved it. I still remember that because we screened. I think the team were like, "Oh, we'll screen it with you," and then all of a sudden the whole team was there. But it was really good. And then you started.
I am my team. We hang out.
Yeah, and that is one thing I've always really liked is that you and the team almost inseparable, and you're a big believer in your team in upskilling, believing, giving them independence. They're good at what they do. Let them do their thing because you know they're going to act within the values of the company.
Yes.
When it comes to that story, we then shift to starting to use the story, set everything up. I think at that stage, we then told you about BV Amplify. Maybe if we implement it, what did you then start to see?
We saw a whole load of inquiry that is just snowballing.
Okay. What I was going to clarify there is, because what we try and tell people is it's not a vending machine.
No.
Good marketing doesn't happen overnight.
No.
What time frame did you sort of see from implemented to started to see what you wanted to see? And maybe even go through the emotions between that, because that can be an emotional period as well sometimes.
Yeah. When we started rolling out the ebook and the ads, and which was a fair way in because we had a whole lot still to sort through. Initially, we got an inquiry who is also about to start building straight away. So we're like, cool, Jamie.
I remember
God. So let's book a consultation. So excited. Lovely people who are just about to start building. That happened really quickly, and then we had like inquiries coming through, and they just started to grow from there. So it was like not sure how it was going to be because I'm not a big social media user myself. So I understand the importance of social media, and no, I'm not at all qualified to do that because I have no idea. But so I was a little nervous, like that most of it would be on social media because I guess I don't use it. So I'm like, well, maybe nobody uses it, which clearly is a dumb idea.
That's funny enough. We often have that. It's like, well, I don't really use it, or we have some clients that are really old. They don't use it.
They don't use it. They don't care. So I wasn't sure if that was going to be enough for what we need as a company to be viable, obviously. So we started, I think, August, September last year. We started advertising on. Oh, not at all me, you guys. It's all up to you.
It's
left, and the beauty of it is you don't have to think about it and know, like, just get my little. This is what we're aiming to promote this month, and I'm like, cool, off you go, Esther. And I don't have to do anything. And all the inquiries started to grow, and it's just incredible to see the number of clips and things that have been seen, and now the ebook downloads have increased. Now we also get their number, which has been great, that people can leave their number. We don't like to harass people, so we give them a week just to have a look and just check if everything's okay.
If we pause there, I like you mentioned that, because that's sometimes an area that some of our builders we work with don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They maybe have had zero experience in sales. How does your team? So you wait a week. You got some contact details there of someone who's kind of said, "I like what I see."
Yeah.
How do you handle that after that week?
Yeah.
What happens?
We leave it, and then one of my team give the person who's downloaded a call just to check that they've received it. Have they had a chance to look at it? Have they got any questions? Did they find the information important and useful? Because we want to give out useful information. And so from there, people either, that's great, we're early stages. Cool, no worries, just give us a call. It's really just
Love it.
touching base just to see they've got it okay, and it's all
makes that connection
all
just that
easy.
much more personal.
Yeah, that's
as
right.
early as possible.
Yeah, and we don't like to jump on them straight away because I don't like it when I get a call as soon as you touch something on the internet. And we don't want to be that person.
Yeah. But
as a
I like that
company.
you guys have found something that you are comfortable with, that you're still
Yeah.
brand aligned. Because
Yes.
sometimes I'll mention the idea to some of our builders, like you get someone who said, I like what I see, but maybe I'm not ready to talk right now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's I need more information, or and then often the first thing they'll say to me is, oh, no, I don't want to harass, I don't want to call. One person said that they, and I had this experience, I put my name and email, phone number into something just the other day. And within 10 minutes, I had a call.
Yeah.
But that's for a very different product. And so it's got to be brand aligned. But
Yes.
it makes sense. You want to at least just reach out and just say, I'm
Yeah.
acknowledging you.
Yeah, thank you for downloading, which is where we start. Thanks for downloading our ebook. So, it's very informal, very short. We don't want to take anyone's time. From that, we've only just started doing it this year. Only been back a couple of weeks. And every download that comes through notification, we diarise to follow up in a week or so. We dispatch them all together so they don't take long. If they're taking a long time, it's because you're chatting to someone, and that can only be a good thing. Yeah. So once we've had a few people download ebooks. We call them a week later and they're like, oh yeah, that was really useful. Can we catch up for a chat?
Love that.
And if not, cool. That's okay. They're not ready or they're not interested. That's okay. You can't expect 100%.
Yeah. So with that process, I really like that you guys are taking that fully on board. Well, you guys were already doing it. It was just great to hear that. Hasn't required much mentoring or consulting from us at all. But just your approach, I think, and mindset around sales being service.
Yeah.
Maybe elaborate on that, because that's something I really like. And you see anyone that shows any level of interest as a potential worst case scenario, a potential ambassador that you can create.
Yeah.
Talk me through that a little bit.
I mean, we obviously have a product to sell, as does most companies. We don't have a salesperson per se. So I sit in the display homes every second weekend and Lip does the other weekend. And we're really there to help people with whatever they need help with. So we may have somebody come in who's about to buy land. We have a little flyer about how to choose a block of land that they can walk away with. We go through, we'll have a look at their block for them and suggest, whether they look for another block. As a builder, we know what we're looking for when we purchase land. We'll make them aware of some of those pitfalls of the block that they're looking at. So that's a really beneficial time to go and see a builder and get a little advice if you've never built before, because things can cost you a lot of money without even knowing. By choosing the wrong block. So we offer help there, like at whatever point people come to us, we will offer help.
I like that.
And that's what we do. Whether they come to us to build a home or not, I mean, we would love it for them to do that, but if they don't, then that's okay. It doesn't change how we're going to treat the next person. So you put good things out and help people where you can, whether it's finding the right block or, offering advice on solar orientation, which is really, really important for beautiful sunshine in your home. The right time of year. In Canberra, that's really important. All those things help, and even if they don't, it doesn't end up in a sale to us, that's okay, because they'll be talking to somebody else and say, oh no, they were really good.
Okay.
We didn't go with them for whatever reason. But that's okay. We accept that is going to happen. And that doesn't stop us from offering, oodles of help to the next person who comes in. Yeah,
I like that.
Just help. You're there to help people. Yeah.
And I think that I like that, because that just makes it genuine, and people can smell that.
Yeah, you're going to find out again, about not just about their home, about their lifestyle, what stage of life they're at.
Yeah.
You know, if they have 10 kids, 2 kids, don't want kids,
Yeah.
have parent
Kids are
kids.
left the house. Parent kids, yeah.
So finding all that information out and what's important to them when they're at home. Do they want living that spills onto an alfresco? Are they outdoorsy people? Do they not care? Do they want to be inside? And then you can help them find the right design or come up with a design for them and with the designer that will reflect that way of living. But you can't do that if you don't have a mindset of how can I help? If you have a mindset of, is this house going to fit? You're probably not going to last long with us. It's not about, you know, does the house fit or not? It's about how are you going to use this home? And then all those questions that
Now that you mention that,
to, that's just part of the process.
yeah, that approach, you've shared so many stories with me. I wish the audience could hear a lot of them. But one, like the tree one, you're designing the home around the tree.
Around the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had some clients come to us and they'd
been trying to find a builder for a while. But
and they had a really big tree that they didn't want to get rid of.
Yeah, and the previous builders were saying, you can't do it
Just
or
knock
chop
it
tree
down.
down.
Yeah. Just knock it down. And they didn't want to. They didn't want to knock it
They
down.
weren't really being listened to.
That's right. So things like that are really important. That it's just, I mean, it may complicate the design or the home or whatever, but if that is important to the client and there's a way around it, then work around it.
Yeah.
It's their home. They're the ones living there. They're the ones spending their money to get something that they need and want. So we do what we can to work with whatever constraints we have to make it reflect them.
Yeah. What have been some of the other fruits that have come about since implementing all of this with us?
It still takes me back a bit when people talk to me like they know me,
Right.
which is fine. I'm quite chatty. I'm not used to people talking to me like
When you don't know
and
them.
I don't know them. I find it really heartwarming. So that certainly is new for me. I'm not used to people knowing about our company because our story's never been told. It's always been this design, this render, this block, this house and land package, not us as a company.
Or as
So,
people.
and so that has really changed. And the people who come to us are the people who identify with our message, and it's not a struggle to convince them that we're the builder for them because they've come to us because they've seen that and gone, that's what I want in a builder. I want someone who is open and honest and isn't afraid of showing their inclusions or, working. We try and accommodate every cost that we can foresee. When we do a contract or a proposal, we don't like to sort of give a price knowing that there's going to be another 20 grand down the track, that if we tell them now, they'll go to another builder because, we're more expensive. We acknowledge that we may appear more expensive up front, but we also will promote the fact that that's because that's going to be what it costs you because
At the end.
We've already looked into the site classifications of a home and how's that going to affect your slab flooring system. Is it going to cost more because of your soil type? So all of that is really important to us because nothing would make me feel worse if I were to build than signing a contract, finding out 2 months in or a month in that now you're going to be up for another 10 grand because of your soil classification, which could have been checked before I signed the contract. So to me, that's not who we want to be. We want to find every foreseeable cost, whether it's requirements for, the BAL rating, which is your fire rating. If we can find that up front, know they're going to need shutters and all the things for BAL 40, then we do that up front because that can be quite expensive and you can add 100 grand to a home without really trying hard at all, especially if it's a fire rating, and for something that could have been foreseen is not fair on our clients.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I like that. Always putting the client's interests first.
Yeah, and you do that by going, if I were to build, how would I want to be treated? And what sort of circumstances would I like known? I guess is the best way to look at it.
That's awesome to hear that you've been seeing those sort of fruits. People talking like they know you. You mentioned earlier, everything's taken care of. What's that like, knowing that marketing essentially is taken care of?
Oh, such a relief, because I'm so bad at social media. Fully acknowledging again, most important thing I think nowadays to get your head around. And I'm super busy.
Why is the most important? Why do you make that comment? Why is it important these days?
To get your head around social media, because that's where most people are, I think. It's really hard. We don't, the only other place we advertise is the radio, because Canberra's a very big radio town. Everyone listens to it. Well, not everyone, but certainly we have a good portion of the population listen to the radio in Canberra. So that's the only other place we really advertise. We used to do newspapers, and we've done TV in the past, but I don't think that it's there and gone.
Hard to measure.
It's really hard to measure. We've had so many people comment on our ads on Facebook and Insta, and I'm like, oh, cool. Oh, we noticed you've been advertising. Oh, I have. For the hat to you guys.
Been seeing you everywhere, Dad.
People everywhere knows us. So, it's obviously getting around.
Yeah.
I think that's just the easiest form of communication almost nowadays.
What excites you most about the future for Regal Homes?
I'm super excited about our new display home, and the style of home that we're going to be offering Canberra in the future.
Incredible.
So
Can't say much more about it yet? Or?
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
I'm really excited to do something really different.
Yeah. So those of you looking at building with Regal Homes, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. To do something Canberra doesn't often see.
Love it. Wow.
So excited. I'm so excited. And I got my inspiration in the strangest of places. And I just went, I could come home to this every day. What if I could come home to this every day?
What would that mean?
Why would not other people not want to come home to this every day? Like, it was just beautiful and simple. So I'm really excited.
Well, really excited to, after this, we're going to jump into a bit of evolving your vision.
Yeah.
Looking at what's the next step, what does this next year look like? So looking forward to learning more about that.
Yes.
And then once that comes into reality, helping put that message out there.
Yeah, just creating like a sanctuary for people, because everyone has a busy life. They go to work and they run around with the kids or other things. Like, there's so many commitments and time pressures, and getting away is really hard for some people just because they're so busy, or they have so much on, or
definitely
they
in
can't afford
Canberra.
it.
I mean, all places, but
and to be able to come home to something that just nurtures your soul, I think is really important, and it just makes your home just feel like a cocoon. I want a cocoon for my clients.
For the builders listening to this, I know it was a huge amount of trust you put in us. And I remember those early conversations we had prior to coming on board, and it was amazing to build that relationship with you and establish that trust. What would you have to say to builders that are maybe sitting on the fence or thinking about getting in touch with us about, can I trust this? Can I give this a go? Would it work for me?
You haven't done it till now, you've just wasted time, so just do it now. We did have to delay it because of other things going on in the business, and I wanted a clear slate to move forward. Have not regretted it for 1 second, and it's really everything's just, it keeps getting better and better, which kind of blown away with, to be honest.
Yeah, well, let's keep that momentum going.
Yeah. So the momentum has certainly built. The momentum's certainly built over the last 3-4 months, and I mean, just don't hesitate. It just takes that worry and concern, and I know I should be doing social media, but I don't understand it. I don't know how it works. Just who, not how it. And let the professionals deal with it. And you guys have been every step of the way on top of things and giving us solid feedback and results, and it's not sort of started and forgotten. Everything's works really well. You've got a great system obviously in place, because it just all ticks along. Everything just ticks, and you don't have to worry about it. Just do it. I know it's an investment, best investment in your business you'll ever make.
Wow, thank you. If there are builders listening to this and they would like to talk to you, are you open to?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
Can't speak highly enough.
Thanks, Tash. Well, Tash, massive thank you. Thank you very much for coming up and doing this podcast with us.
My pleasure.
And thank you again for trusting us. Yeah. So,
My pleasure.
Thank you.